Hello there my YouTube friends and fans, welcome back to Elden Ring. So the time has come where I reached the end of the game and there's nothing more for me to do, so I sadly have to face it. I did every catacomb, every cave, every air goal, every regular enemy boss, every optional boss, every mandatory boss, besides the last one, all legendary items, all quests, and much more. There's nothing more to do for me in this game. So I was like, well, I guess it's time for me now to do the last boss. And here I am. So this first run that I had here, I literally just ran into the arena with my strongest sword that I thought that was my strongest sword. Didn't have a clue what this boss was all about. Saw some pictures before, but really did not inform myself about this boss at all. I just thought, hey, I beat all the other bosses in the game and every single enemy with ease because I'm so strong now. This should not be a problem. It should take me maybe like 10 times and maybe less, and I'm done. And so I'm pretty satisfied with the progress here until I realized that he's actually regaining some of his health, and also that those smashes that he does can be super deadly. So yeah. So I realized that I was a little bit too optimistic and that I should do some research and find out about his weaknesses. And it basically says that he is weak to fire. And I'm like, wait a minute, I actually do have this one axe here that I found out is pretty good, but I never used it and it's not upgraded yet. So let me see where that axe is. It's one of those axes. So I'm just looking at all my powerful weapons here to see what I actually have. I have so much stuff here. And there it is, the Fire Rotten Great Axe. I already tried that axe once. And I really liked it, but it was a little bit too heavy and too slow for me for most enemies, so I ended up never using it. So I'm like thinking, alright, let's go and get that upgraded. So here we are at the round table hole that's slowly burning away. But this guy is always here, talking super slow. And so I tell him that I want to have this great axe upgraded. And it takes a lot of smithing stones, as you can think, to get it all the way to plus 25, but I finally make it and I have my weapon ready. And so now, before I go back to the boss, I actually want to make sure that it's strong enough before I run into the boss arena. So I go to this fun spot here where I always test my weapons, and I'm like, well, it doesn't take them out on first try, but it's pretty good. And then I kind of realized that those guys are not humans, so they're probably, you know, more resistant against fire than the boss. All I can do is hope that that's the case, but we don't know until we try it, right? So let's do this. So here I am in my second try, defeating this boss with this new weapon, and it seems to do an amazing job. As you can see, it really works until he does the smash, but he ends up dying anyway. So I'm like, wow, this is awesome, I'm sold. So we're now at the Elden Beast and I almost have it down, and I'm like, my hands are shaking so bad because I'm like, oh my god. And I can't believe I'm already getting this final boss. It was so easy. Yes! Only one more hit. Come on. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Really? How did this even happen? That was just a huge bummer, and my self-confidence took a dip after that. I was like, you know what? Now I'm not sure if I can do it. I felt it so strongly that I couldn't even get through the first boss anymore. I don't even know how many countless times I tried this. Definitely more than I tried Melania or the dragon, the Placidusux dragon. This boss all of a sudden to me became unbeatable, and I was so frustrated. I was just like, Are you really saying that I cannot finish this game after 300 hours and 99.9% completion? I will never see the ending of this game. I was just really bummed, and for 2 days I was just thinking, it's just a game, who cares? I went in, every night, told myself to do 10 tries only, and then take a break. And stuff kept happening. It was really bad. So, I knew that I had to take a bigger break and just forget about this. But as a true gamer, I just couldn't leave it. I had to do research. I was like, maybe my talismans are not right. Maybe my outfit needs to be better. Maybe I should not use the axe. Maybe the axe is too slow. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? So the main thing is that I saw everywhere, you have to get Holy Defense or Holy Negation up higher. So I got myself those 2 incarnations, which I ended up never even using, but they can be helpful for sure. And I got myself the outfit and the talismans that you see. You may want to go back if you want to see exactly what I used. And here I have the 2 swords that I want the Mimic tier to start with while I'm using the axe. So we have different weapons which have different kinds of attacks, which I think is more effective than if we both use the same weapon. I don't know if that's true, but that worked for me the first time. I almost beat the Elden Beast, so I was thinking I'm gonna just go back to what I actually originally used instead of rehashing everything. And so here I'm back with a fresh mind and optimism back after playing some other games. I feel like I should be able to do it now. So I'm crossing my fingers, and here we go. So right away I spawn my Mimic tier, and I know I have to get ready for this first attack here, or 2 attacks, which I successfully avoid. This one too, and the next one. And finally the Mimic tier gets into action, which gives me the cue to change my weapon to my axe. And I go to work with the fire axe, hoping that he doesn't turn on me. But that 3rd slash got him staggered, and then I was able to get a power attack in too. So it takes about 3 slashes with the fire for him to get staggered. And then when he starts doing his stomps to the Mimic tier, it's best when you're right behind him, because then you can get some more fire slashes in. And something that I had to learn the hard way is to not get greedy, to basically wait until he's focused on the Mimic tier and then go in for hits, because otherwise he just starts focusing on you constantly and you can never get a hit in. And he's already down, so I'm quickly changing back to the dual wielding swords, which are much easier to handle for the Elden Beast than the heavy, slow axe, which is also something I had to learn. So go for the belly as soon as you spawn, and then get away from the front and run to the side and the back, because otherwise the fire will get you. And then what's also important is not to just kind of run up to it and just keep hacking and slashing as long as you can. You've got to have to kind of keep an eye on the movements, like in the corner of your eye, to just make sure when he starts moving that you quickly get away. And then get ready to roll whenever he tries an attack on you, or you may not survive. So the really annoying thing with this boss is that you have to constantly chase him down, which makes this fight a lot longer than you want it to be. You just, like me, you want it to be over quickly, so you want to attack aggressively, and that's really not the way to go with this Elden Beast. You have to kind of wait through all those phases here. Here we have the ring, and that's over now. That it wasn't even focused on me. But there's going to be another one. This pink dust here doesn't do any damage, but those attacks definitely do, and they can be pretty deadly, especially if you cannot roll through some of them at least. I think if you can roll through 2, you're fine. So we have more pink dust, but sometimes right after he does a powerful attack, which I happen to forget there, I was like, oh shoot, but I happened to survive. For some reason it didn't do as much damage as bad as it looked like, but We're gonna have an attack here soon that I barely survived. But I'm gonna go in now, again, just desperate to get his health down, and it just takes a lot to get his health down. And he does this, here is the slash with the golden sword that almost killed me. So like I said, again, I was a little greedy there. I should have probably backed up a little bit, you know, after a few slashes, and just kind of check if he is not gonna do another attack. Then we have the lovely tracking stars here. Those stars are super annoying. I wouldn't say deadly, but they keep following you, and the way you get away from them is by just constantly changing directions and just kind of run and roll. But you cannot avoid them all. And then the swords again, you can just run away from them, just kind of run sideways, and you can avoid those too, so they're not really dangerous. So he's getting ready for another ring, and this time I'm included, and it's actually 3 rings here, so jump, 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 and I kind of didn't make the last one, which was a small little ring, but that usually doesn't do much damage. So this was a swoop here that can also kill you quickly if you don't manage to roll on time. And so we have him down now super low, and I'm starting to get really nervous because I was here before and then I made one little mistake and I lost everything. So this time I'm keeping a close eye on my health bar. I avoid those swords, and I'm waiting for the next attack, which is the fire. So I already know I can actually attack from the back, but I'm really nervous. But then it happens way faster than I expected, and I'm literally speechless. I'm like, wow, did I really do this now? I was able to finish the game. I am so happy. But what happens next is a really huge disappointment. Even though I'm happy I finished the game, I happen to get the bad ending, and you don't have to watch this if you don't want to, but I did literally every quest and everything that I was asked for in order not to get the bad ending. So I do not know what exactly I missed. I have no clue, but here it is, the bad ending. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I hope to see you next time. I will do one more Elden Ring video, like more of a fun one of my first experience with this game. And until then, happy gaming, take care, bye bye.